Hello and welcome back. In this lecture we are going to create our index, and in this index we are going to define our data schema for our indexer. So I'll go back to my collection first inside my Cosmos DB. Go to Data Explorer and property container. Now if you look at one of my data item, in our schema I want to define all of these and take out only the Cosmos DB specific fields like RID, self, tag, and attachments, and I'm going to keep rest of the fields in my index for now. So if I go back to my cognitive search here, to my property, and choose indexes, I want to create a new index, so click on add index, and here you can add your fields for your schema. Now ID is by default, you cannot change that, but you can make it filterable, sortable, and fetchable, and also searchable. So if you want to search any of the fields, just click on the searchable text checkbox here, and that field will be searchable through your queries later on. And also you can choose the type of analyzer for your field. So all my data is in English, so I'm going to choose standard Lucene, which is built-in analyzer. So there are 56 analyzers built in that cognitive search provides for different languages. So if you have most of your data in a different language, just choose that language. I'm going to choose standard Lucene, which is the default for English. And from here on, I'm going to just create fields. So I'm going to create the first field as dataset ID. I'm going to keep the same name. So this is a data set ID. This is a string. And for now, I'm going to just click on everything. Save it. And similarly, I'm going to add record ID. Again, this will be a string. I want to make it retrievable, sortable, filterable, and searchable. Again, standard Lucene. Now, fields is a complex type. We have nested objects, JSON objects under it. So I'm going to put the name as field, but this time instead of EDM string, I'm going to choose a complex type. Here you can see that your index gives you an option to choose different data types, right? So we have integer, double boolean for boolean data, true, false. We have complex type, and also we have array types. So if you have an array of a string, choose collection of a string. Similarly for integer, double boolean. All the float data, decimal data goes under double. If you have some date time offset values, you can choose that, and also our geo coordinates. So here you can see only point data type is available. You cannot save polygon, multi-polygon, and straight line type of data here. Only point is available. So our point data in our addresses should get mapped here. You can also have collection of complex type. So if you have array of complex data type nested structures, just choose this. So for our field, I'm going to choose complex type. Just save it. Now once you create this, you will have to add subfields here. So just click a subfield. First one is p underscore parcel underscore ID. This is again a string. Just choose this. And then I'm going to choose geo, which is my address coordinates. And this time I'm going to choose geography point. I'm going to make it retrievable, filterable, sortable. So we're going to just name our index as property and create it. So if you go back to your property search service and back to indexes, you will see that a property index has been created. And now this time you will get an option to edit your index using a JSON editor. So here you can see that the name of index is property. Then we have fields, which is ID, dataset ID, record ID. Our fields attribute is complex type and it's an array of fields. So we have parcel ID and geography point added. Now we know that the rest of the 5 attributes under field are string type, so we can just simply copy an example here and paste it 5 times and then copy over the names, right? So this is the coordinate, your geolocal area, you can keep rest of the fields same, or if you want you can change them. This civic number, this one, and standard street address, right? So that's it, we have our fields section ready. I also want to add record timestamp and my timestamp here, but I'm going to do that through portal. Let's save it. And now if I go to my fields section, under my fields we have all the fields added here. Now let's go ahead and add another field. For my record timestamp, I'm going to keep it as string. And also my timestamp. So underscore timestamp is created by default by Cosmos DB when the item is added to a collection. Now for my timestamp, I want to name it as TS instead of underscore TS, and I'm going to make it integer. And I want to make it retrievable, filterable, sortable, and probably not facetable because it doesn't make sense. Just save it. Now here you notice that you cannot have your integer type as searchable. Only 4 options are available for type integer, and because it is not searchable, there is no analyzer attached to it. We'll talk more about analyzer in another section. So we have our schema ready, and now you can also know that you can edit your schema using the JSON editor here. So we need to save it as well. So our schema is saved successfully. Now if you go back to property and to your index, you can simply search anything here, query string for example, but for now there is no data in here. And our next task is to create an indexer which will map our data source to this index and also fill our index with data from Cosmos. So in the next section we're going to create an indexer. That's all for this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.